Okay, I don't need these, right?
You don't have to have those. No, you can even you want to toss them on the floor?
Here, go like that.
Oh, look at that. And you're doing your...
I can't really see you because of this, but this is how you want it?
You want to pull it down a bit? Like
yeah, so I can see you?
Yeah, there you go, too. And then don't make sure it's not too far away. You can wiggle it around. What?
I get so scared of,
Of what? Mic stands? Like what? Don't be scared.
I'm not. All right.
No, look, you can do what? You can manipulate it any way you want. So however you're comfy, cozy.
There, that's good.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, well now, that's right. Welcome to the Harland Highway Podcast. And I'm going to hit the theme music. You can't hear it, but it's really good. Welcome, everybody. Incredible guest today. My buddy, one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. She's already got me laughing. Cheri Oteri is here. How you doing?
Good, honey.
Good to see you.
You too. That's why like last week, didn't I?
Yeah, we did see each other.
Oh, good.
They look great. Good. What are your little earrings? Are those turquoise? I see them hanging.
Yeah, they're just little blue stones.
Are they turquoise or turquoise? How do you say it?
Turquoise.
Turquoise, right?
Yes.
I have a buddy who calls it turquoise.
Well,
idiot.
He's fancy pants.
Yeah.
He's trying too hard.
And I had
Tell Francois he's trying too hard.
And he's French Canadian too.
Oh, is he?
So he'd say turquoise.
Are you from Canada?
Yeah, French Canadian, half French Canadian too.
Yeah, because that's what Fred said to me. He's from Canada, right? And I go, no.
Yeah.
He's from the South.
I know everyone thinks I'm from the South because I talk with kind of a slow drawl.
A little foghorn leghorn, I'm just going to say.
I'll say nice boy, but about as sharp as a bowling ball. And then another buddy of mine used to say pedestrian instead of pedestrian.
Well, that's just
right?
Grammar.
Right?
That's not an accent.
Is there a word that people get wrong that drives you bajonkers? Is there a wacky word?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Supposedly. Instead of supposedly.
Supposedly.
My sister used to say, well, supposedly. And I'm like, but then she would get mad at me if I would, correct her. But it's a D, not a B. It's a D, not a B.
Yeah. Did you think she was maybe a little bit mentally challenged because of that?
No.
You can tell me.
She's way smarter than me, but
you can tell me.
That it's just the supposedly.
Then I don't know if she was smarter than you because you knew, but you knew supposedly, and she didn't. I
got that going for me.
Right? So I'm putting
She's
you
like,
up there.
Who are you to correct me?
Is that what she said? And then she threw a Rubik's Cube at your face, completely finished. God. Can you do a Rubik's Cube?
No.
Who invented that thing? Talk about making you feel stupid. I can't do them.
Remember they were so big and then they were keychains and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think they're back.
Are they? Who the hell has time to invent that, though? Like, what guy sat down and said, I'm going to get a square and chop it into colors?
That are big in IT right now.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. But the Rubik's Cube was like from the 70s, I think, it came out.
I actually used it. It was in a movie. Go. It was in a movie. I was with Jason Alexander, and it was like a Comedy Central movie. And it was about, our daughter can get a job.
Yeah.
But I said, but the Rubik's Cube is she can't keep it.
Right.
And they kept it in.
Oh, isn't it great when you ad-lib something in a movie and they keep it in?
You feel so flattered, Right? Yeah.
And they don't know it's coming. And the best part is when you ad-lib in a show or a TV in a movie and you hear the whole crew cracking up.
That is the best. I always said when I was on SNL, I knew a sketch was going to be good when the camera guys, like when we rehearsed it, when they would laugh because all they want to do is eat and go home. Yeah. They're over it.
Yeah, they're over. That's right. They've seen it all.
They've seen it all. But when I would always pay attention when the camera guys and the crew would laugh because I was like, okay.
Did you ever know this? I physically saw this. Sometimes you'd be doing it, and they can't laugh because they don't want to be heard. So there'd be times when I'd be on a movie or something, and you just see the camera start shaking, and you know it's because they're sitting on. So a lot of the big cameras had the chairs built right into them, the little round seats, and so they'd sit there like this. And when you did something funny, they'd just start laughing, and the whole thing would start to wobble. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I got him.
That's a real inexpensive film. It's okay if the camera shakes.
Well, luckily, the name of the movie I was doing was called Parkinson, so it all worked out.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Give me a Rubik's Cube. I'll prove you wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheri Oteri's here today from Saturday Night Live. That's your big claim to fame.
Yeah.
And then
nothing big has happened since. No.
Oh, stop. Actress, writer, comic. I mean, baby lumps. Come on. Unbelievable. And I love your name. Can I say that right? I've always loved your name, Cheri Oteri. It's just one of those. Did you ever think it would be like a showbiz name?
All my growing up, it was never rhymed. It was always Cheri Oteri.
Oteri.
And I always say Oteri. But it's not that different from Oteri for me to correct anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, because when I moved to California, it would make sense. It's Cheri Oteri. So why wouldn't the last name be pronounced the same as, the first? I don't know why. But, and then when I did get SNL, Don Pardo, I saw him in the hall when I first got the job. And he's like, Cheri, I'm Don Pardo. And I go, yeah. Yeah. And he was really, really tall.
Did he talk like that? Like, Cheri, I'm Don Pardo.
That's how he sounds.
He always talked like that?
Yeah.
God, imagine having sex with him. I think I'm about to achieve. I'm feeling really good. Oh, here it comes. I'm Don Pardo. Good Lord.
Oh my God.
But I love, people ever call you, because at one point I thought, before I knew you, when I'd see the credits roll on SNL, I thought it was Cheri Oteri, which is also kind of catchy. Now, if someone had started calling you Cheri, would you have corrected that?
Yes.
You would have?
Yeah.
You don't like that?
I remember when I was a kid going into like the Wawa in Pennsylvania. And
the Wawa? What's that?
It's a store in Pennsylvania. It's like
Wawa?
a convenience store. Where everything is triple the price because you just run in and run out, just like any convenience store here.
Yeah, but, let me guess, the lady behind the counter, when you talk to her, is like, hello, Cheri, how are you?
No, we don't
like
know where
Wawa
the
pedal?
Wawa came from.
Oh, okay.
No Wawa pedal.
Okay.
But I go, oh, Mommy, my name is spelled, we get that magazine? And the magazine was covered in plastic because it was a porn magazine, and she's like, no, but it's spelled the way my name is. But when Don Pardo goes, how would you like me to pronounce your name?
Yeah.
And I never even thought about it. I was so in that moment.
Yeah.
Just excited. I couldn't believe I was talking to him. That's
got to be weird, because he's the one guy that's been there from the beginning. Yeah. Other cast members came and went, and then you meet one of the original pillars.
He was the nicest, sweetest man.
He was?
Oh my gosh. He would go to Florida and he just talked about his grandchildren and wanted to show you pictures. Yeah. He was just such a beautiful man. And I said, whatever you think, Don. And maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I was like, wow, is he going to? And he goes, I like the rhyme. It rolls off the tongue. And I went, okay. And I think my dad might have been like a little upset about that. But
the mispronunciation of
Cheri.
Yeah, because that's an Italian name, right? Yeah. And the Italians, come on, they got that. Come on, huh? They got the Italian pride.
Yeah.
Oh, was he
came from my ball sack.
Oh, wow, your dad said that to you? Because that's the type of thing. I mean,
And he named me.
Who?
My dad.
Your dad? Mm-hmm. Your mom had nothing to do with it?
No. This was his call.
Why did he go for Cheri? What was the? It
was a dirty magazine. I have no idea.
Your dad named you after the dirty magazine.
No.
Oh no.
No.
And does your brother Playboy and Penthouse have How are they? Are they happy with their names?
Tommy and Denise.
Well, I said Playboy and Penthouse. You're going to be Cheri. I mean...
She's my cherry pie.
How about your adopted brother, Hustler? How's he doing?
Shitting.
See, that's what I love about you. You're one of these people, in terms of comedy, all right? This is a compliment. You're what I call explosive, because you can be like right here and then just do one little shitting. Like you've got this energy button inside you hit, and it's instantly funny to me, no matter what you do. So that's a compliment. I just love it when
Thank you.
Yeah, that's something... You know, I've been around comedians and comic people my whole career, and it's rare that someone has that kind of almost an instant button you can hit. A lot of guys have to go into a joke or a rhythm, but you're one of the people who I've met in comedy that can just hit a button and boom. And you did it on SNL in the skits all the time. You'd walk into the room, it's like, boom, you just like, you were on, you know? Do you know that? You must know that, right?
Well, it's not like we're improvising, you know.
Yeah.
We rehearse and everything like that, but
right. But your comic energy is what I'm saying. It's like a door opens. It's just like boom.
Well, back then it was just called fear.
Was it?
Yeah, but I think I always, even at the Groundlings, I was so frightened. I was so scared before I would go on. So scared.
Yeah, I think we all are. But would you say the fear sort of help you find your comedy? Does it drive you, or does it hurt you?
It'd be nice if I didn't have so much fear.
Yeah.
I remember standing on the side, and I was just about to do my sketch, and we were live, and I go, God, I'm so scared, to Norm Macdonald, and he goes, well, you take Xanax. This is like back then. I go, what's that? He goes, just relax you. And I go, well, what if it like kind of impedes what? And he goes, it won't. And I go, it's okay.
That was it? And did you take Xanax?
No.
Yeah. Norm was unassuming like that, right? Norm was always, when I used to hang out with him back in Toronto, he was just always this kind of fun guy, and then you'd never kind of, for some reason, I don't know, there was an innocence about him where you didn't expect stuff like that to come out of him, but it always did, you know.
I remember when we first got the show, Will and I walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
And Norm looked at Will and goes, is that your beard? And neither one of us knew what that meant.
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
Oh, so we're walking, and then we both went, ha, ha, ha. And then he passed, and we both stopped. What's that mean? Do you know what it means? No, I don't know what it means. And it means, like, is that your beard? Are you gay and she's your front?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, it was like a gender thing or something.
You never heard that either?
Yeah, maybe I have now. Is that your beard, or is that the other way?
Yeah,
is
like
that
if
your
a gay
skirt?
man has got a girl,
right?
That like he's not out yet,
yeah.
something like that. And it was just so funny that we didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
I mean, I really sometimes I think I can't believe how naive we all were.
Yeah,
we were.
But that's part of the fun of it, you know. I think it's when you get thrown into stuff, especially in the entertainment business, you just it's like jumping in a lake and you say, "Do I even know how to swim?" Like I remember way back when I got a sitcom. But I got the lead, and I'd never done a sitcom. And they go, "You're the lead." And I'm like, "Okay." And I was terrified. I go, "Screw it. Let's just jump in. Let's see if I can do it." And
the great thing about that is it's tape.
Yeah. You did it live, though. Yeah.
And, the great thing is I came from the Groundlings. So, we were never used to being able to go again.
Yeah, right,
so that gets in your blood. And then when you go to do a movie or you go to do a sitcom, it's like, okay, we're going to go again. I'm like,
why?
Why?
Yeah. Because you learn, you train yourself to just, you've got to get it right because you're not coming back.
Right.
Yeah.
But, then I was like, wow, what a luxury.
Hey, everybody, check out my merchandise at harbling.com. Yeah, most people just slap some letters or images on a t-shirt or a hoodie. But not me. Yours truly. Guess what? I draw my own designs. At hardbling.com, you can see tons of my hand-drawn t-shirts. You can either buy the original or you can buy a print. And man, oh man, wear them loud and proud. I love making these designs for you guys and keeping it personal. So check out the whole catalog. We got hoodies, we got coffee mugs, we got t-shirts, you name it, it's there at harbling.com. Get your Harland original design, wearable art at harbling.com today. And thank you for your support, and I'll just keep the groovy images coming. How did you get on with Norm? Because Norm was a good buddy of mine, and then I always wondered how he did over at SNL. I lost kind of contact with him when he was going through that phase. So how was it there with Norm?
It was fine.
Were you guys buddies? Did you hit it
No,
off?
we weren't buddies. I don't know if he was buddies with anyone.
Norm can be. Yeah, Norm can be hard to get close to. I mean, when I was best buddies with him way back in the 90s and stuff, like I was kind of the only one. Like he didn't let a lot of people in, but he let me in and we got really close. And
You're easy to let in.
I am. Oh, what's your address?
You're just a hug waiting to happen.
Hello, Care Bear. I mean, if you want to ask me out to the Cheesecake Factory, just do it. I don't need all this flirting, young lady. Oh, God. Let's go. Cinnamon spice.
Silly.
So let's cut. So SNL, and then some of your characters were so amazing. And I've noticed I went onto your TikTok, and now you went from doing your characters on SNL, and now I go on your TikTok, and you're kind of generating some recurring characters I've noticed on your TikTok. A couple in particular I love. You do this thing where this girl who collects dog poo at the dog park.
Honey, I'm not doing a girl, that's me.
That's you in real life.
But the funny thing is, I'm really being myself.
Yeah.
And, there's a couple of people that said to me, "Oh, you should do TikTok." And I'm just like, "What?"
Yeah.
No. Well, it's you get to an age and you're like, and I'm like, "Wow, I'm turning into the, oh, I don't understand that. I don't have time for that. I'm not doing."
Yeah.
And then, I'm on Instagram. I'm like, Instagram's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I was almost like, what? And then
you get into the mindset, if I'm doing Instagram, I might as well do TikTok because they're the same.
Okay, so, I did this. This is what they put on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I'm, noticing what the difference is
yeah.
and everything. So, it started out me just walking my dogs and doing a poop toss, to try and get it in the trash can.
Yeah, but we're talking about you'd pick up the poop in the little plastic bag.
Yeah, and you tie it up. And
then there's the garbage can, literally 30, 40 feet away.
Not that far.
It's pretty far. The one I saw, it was like Kobe Bryant taking a shit shot.
Shit shot.
Like a loaf from the 3rd point line over there.
Yeah, it was a shit shot. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, I got some time on my hands.
Yeah.
I'm throwing poo.
But you're pretty good. You're pretty, how many takes did it?
I walk the dogs a lot.
Yeah. Did you miss hundreds of them before
you? Sure.
Yeah.
I always think to myself, all right, you got to throw in there your misses too.
Yeah.
Because then,
Did you ever miss and the bag flew through the air and just hit somebody?
No.
Oh, I want to see that video.
No.
I want to see you hit someone in the back of the head with a Rottweiler loaf.
And I would take them to the dog park and, sometimes. And then I notice, when you're in the picture, more people want to see it. Because I was just always taking it myself. Boop.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then I had someone else take it, and the difference of when you're in it, and then I have this young girl come over, and she's really into social media. She tells me about social media. And
Yeah.
she goes, Cheri, you need to be in some of your videos.
Yeah, it was just your arm sticking out like a video game. Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be seen, right? They go, yeah, people like it if you're kind of in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to see your face.
And then from that, I just started doing stuff, and I was just, I think, blown away by the response.
Yeah. Well, it's you. That's what I mean. People love you. You're so damn funny.
Well, it's kind of nice to just being yourself.
Yeah, not doing a shtick.
Yeah.
But picking up, let's go back to the dog poo.
Can we move on from the poo?
No, because when you were a kid, right, we didn't have to pick it up, right? Wasn't half the fun when you were a kid in the 70s and maybe even in the 80s too? I don't think they started the pick up the poo thing till the late 90s, right? Or the mid 90s?
No, you just stood there and watched the dog, said hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we didn't pick up.
You just left it, and half the fun of being a kid was maneuvering down the sidewalk so you didn't step on it. It was kind of like that Billie Jean, the video Michael Jackson did where the tiles light up and he's like, Billie Jean, except with us it was like sidestepping loaves of poo. And what I used to love is every now and then you'd get the loser that didn't see it, and you'd just see the trail of ghostly poo footprints all the way down the sidewalk until they slowly got lighter and lighter.
It was awful if you had grooves in the bottom of your sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it gets in the groove.
Yeah.
And, you're in the house and it's like, what stinks?
Yeah.
What stinks?
Yeah.
Let me see your shoe.
It's like charbroiled.
And then you have to get a stick, go outside, get a stick, and clean out every groove.
Yeah. And even worse, sometimes shoes had a little heel, and then there was the arch, and then the bottom of the shoe.
Yes.
Sometimes people would step in that and get that whole arch.
It was always like, what stinks?
Yeah.
What stinks?
Yeah. I had a guy stay over at my house once, okay? I was living in Glendale. This is before the poo law. And he must have stepped in some, didn't realize it, and he was visiting, and I was in a little tiny apartment when I first moved to Hollywood. And I said, hey, you can sleep on the couch, and he was cool with he slept there. And so he went to bed. We came home at night, and he went to the couch, and he didn't take his shoes off. He just kind of plopped down. We must have been drinking beer or something. And when I walked out in the morning to the living room, I was like, what the? Did this guy crap his pants? And there was like dog poo all over the arm of my couch.
No.
And I go, dude, you stepped in poo. And he's like, oh, man. Came back. I know.
Not friends with that guy anymore.
Yeah, and I got to be honest. I've never done it. I've never had to pick. That can't be fun, picking up the poo. It's squishy.
It's not a big deal. It's funny when it's cold out.
Oh, God.
And it's steaming. It's like fresh from the bakery.
Oh, you use it as hand warmers?
Mm-hmm. No.
Come on. Oh, God.
I just walked in this morning, and when there's I don't want to talk about the poo.
God.
Poo.
I'm going to say one last thing about it.
All right.
And then we'll move on to diarrhea.
All right.
When I'm driving down the road and I see a hot girl and I see her bending down to pick up the poo, I'm done. Not that I'm going to meet that, but I could never ask that girl out. I could never go out. It freaks me out. I don't want to go out with a girl that
It's not her poo she's picking up.
I know, but just seeing her picking it up, and it's so casual. It's just like, it's like she's picking an apple off a cart at the grocery store. I don't know, weirds me out. Maybe look around.
Do you not like...
And then pick up the poo.
You are not the kind of guy that goes to the bathroom around his woman.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to know anything about that.
Well, I just don't want to. The women I've dated have done the same thing. I've had to pick up their...
Poo?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyways, let's move on. You're right. Let's move on. You did another video that cracked my ass up on TikTok where you're sort of like cruising for men, but on like the lake with some kind of water bicycle.
Yeah, my cousin who's coming in.
Yeah.
For my birthday.
I thought he was coming out.
Shut up.
Well.
They have a lake house.
Yeah.
Beautiful lake house.
Oh, it's just nice to say that.
And
I have a lake house.
In Hamilton, New Jersey, and they have those bikes. And so I just started, we were riding the bike.
It's like a bike on pontoons, and you pedal it, and it moves and scoots like along the top of the water. Yeah, it's on top of the water. Yes. Okay.
But with the warm weather and there's so much algae, the algae gets caught and like the last time I was there, I was constantly having to get on the side of the bike to get the algae out of the propeller.
Yeah, the paddle.
Yeah. But there is a guy just fishing, and I said to my cousin, let's go up near this guy.
Yeah.
And I go, are you single? Yeah. He's like, what?
Yeah. He's just fishing on the end of the dock.
Yeah, and then I think I caught him by his breath. He's like, And then my cousin goes, she said, are you single? Yeah. And he goes, and we're a little bit far away from him. He goes, unfortunately, yes. Yeah. I said, because I'll back this baby right up before you can say Las Vegas. Yeah. And he was just like, and so then he threw his fishing rod towards me.
Oh, wow.
And he got in on the funny.
He cast at you?
Yeah, but he was like, just being funny.
He was out looking for bass, and he almost got some ass. Holy crap.
Look what I caught.
He holds you up.
It's 100-pound Oteri.
100-pound. A great speckled Oteri. Yeah. Wait, what was that last part? Okay.
All right, Dirty.
I didn't do it. You did.
So then, that was last year. So then we went on the bikes again this year. Yeah. And then I'm like, there's nobody, the houses are far apart. There's nobody out there.
Out by the lake house.
Yeah. So.
Do you like to say it, lake house, or no?
I do.
Isn't that nice?
And then she said, across the lake, there's a guy. He's supposedly the best dental oral surgeon, and wow. And she goes, and she found out what his name was. And I go, all right, let's go over there and I'll just yell for him. Yeah. And then she's not thinking he was going to be home. I mean, it's like a mansion where he lives, a huge house.
Is it a lake house or a house?
It's a lake house.
Oh, okay.
So we paddle over there and everything. And I go, Dr. Crescenza! And then he comes out. And he's like, could you imagine? Yeah. And he goes, yes. And I'm far away because I'm in the lake. And I go, and then I got nervous. Like, what am I going to say?
You were trapped. You were trapped in your own comedy.
I said I was trapped in my own comedy. I go, it's really hard to get an appointment with you. And I hear you're the best, oral surgeon in New Jersey. And I'm from out of town, so I wasn't going to take a chance. And I bought one of these bikes. And he's like, Are you serious? And I go, yeah. And he goes, are you taping this?
Whoa.
Are you filming this? And I said, yeah, I wanted to prove to everybody that at least I tried.
Yeah.
And he goes, are you shitting me right now? I didn't know whether he was going to get mad.
He got angry.
And so I go, no, I'm serious. You're very popular. And then he kept going on about, so what? Why couldn't you get a hold of me? Didn't anybody answer the phone? And he was so upset that I couldn't get an appointment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we cut all of that out.
Did you end up getting an appointment with him?
I don't need an appointment.
Oh, it was just a gag.
Yeah. Everybody's going to think I had to get dental, cosmetic dental surgery.
I don't know. Do this thing again? Because I think maybe you might need some.
No. Got all my teeth.
You do. You have a beautiful smile.
Aww.
Yeah.
So then he, and then at the end I go, so are you, one more question, doctor, are you single? And he goes, no, I am not. And I go, are you sure? Because I'll back this thing right up onto your lawn. And he goes, you can back that? And I go, I'll back that thing up. It was, you never know how this stuff is going to turn out.
You don't.
It was, and then I thought to myself, my cousin said, he's my neighbor. You said his name, and that's the back of his house. And so we found out, and I got his permission.
Oh, wow.
It was good because I sent it to him.
Did you have to make an appointment to get his permission?
I couldn't get it. Yeah, could you imagine? I tried to get an appointment to get your permission, but good luck.
God, you have a beautiful smile.
Oh, shut up.
I just wanted you to do that laugh again.
Do you know
that laugh you did earlier?
When I was on SNL, Bill Murray we were rehearsing a sketch, and he was hosting, and he goes, "Will you do me a promise? Make me a promise." And I go, "What is it?" And he goes, "Will you promise never to get that snaggletooth fixed?"
What snaggletooth?
This tooth.
Yeah.
Stuck out, right?
Oh.
And so the funniest thing is, it didn't bother me that much, really. I did notice it in pictures sometimes, depending on. And so I was at my dentist, and he goes, "Hey, do you want me to fix that tooth?" And I go, "This is the weirdest thing. I promised Bill Murray I'd never get it fixed." And he goes, "Well, how about if we don't touch that and we bring this one a little bit out?" And he goes, "Because it's not that this sticks out. It's this one is in.
The other one's in."
And I go, "We can do that?" And he said, "Yeah, I just had to put a little thing right here." Yeah. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going through all this because I promised Bill Murray something.
Yeah, you should have probably not promised Bill Murray anything when he called you snaggletooth.
I was like, none taken.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of not it's not the most complimentary term.
It was, I think, like,
"Hey, snaggletooth." You sound like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon character.
Know.
"Hey, it's snaggletooth here." Right?
But it's just like being an actor and everything, and you have this imperfections where, everybody gets their
But don't you feel like
fixed.
maybe that was like a trademark thing? Because I'll never forget when David Letterman got his teeth put together. He had that gap. And it was so much part of his personality that I loved it. And I didn't like it when he put his teeth together.
I think when you have like just the slightest like imperfection, it just adds a little bit of character.
I agree. So then now why did you get it fixed then?
I didn't. I got the other one.
Right, but it evened it all out. And you lost the little imperfection.
Oh, there's plenty of left imperfection.
There are. What else?
That's it. But it did kind of bother me, and I thought to myself, because I would see in pictures it sticking out, but it was, but everything else is like I just got a little bit of a what do you call that?
Veneer?
Like a bonding. Yeah, but just there.
Yeah. Like I even remember, I don't know if you remember the Austin Powers movies, but I think it was.
Oh yeah, the overbite.
Yeah, the second or the third one, he like fixed his teeth. Like Austin Powers, like I think even Mike Myers went, "You know what? I probably look a bit gross with these." Like I was so bummed
That
because
was funny to me.
But the first ones were like big and stuck out and sort of off color. And then if you watch like Austin Powers 3, his two front teeth are like really sort of nice. Like he fixed them. They still stick out, but they don't look crooked. They're not like sort of half yellow.
I didn't even notice that.
I know, it pissed me off. I was like, don't have vanity for a character.
Right.
But I think that's what it was. He goes, "Well, now I'm this character. I don't want to look too." I don't know if that's what he was thinking, but that's how I took it.
I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
I know. I don't like it when people do that.
It's okay, baby.
I know, but if I knew you way back then, I wouldn't have let you go to the dentist. I would have.
It was like last year.
Oh.
Truly. It wasn't. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm saying, this doctor, you're hard to get. It's like, everybody's going to think I need cosmetic dentistry done. Everybody was writing in. They go, "Did you get an appointment? Did you get the appointment?" And I'm like, "My teeth are fine."
God, you have beautiful teeth. What was that thing you did earlier?
Do you see? I did it with the Fudgy Wudgy guy Did you see the Fudgy Wudgy video?
Yeah. By the way, just before we talk about the Fudgy Wudgy, you know I did a movie called Fudgy Wudgy Fudge Face? I did an independent movie years ago called Fudgy Wudgy Fudge Face, just because I love the funny sound of it, like Fudgy Wudgy to me. And I think growing up, wasn't there a place called Carvel Ice Cream and they had Fudgy Wudgy, the whale cake or something?
Yes.
But it's a funny run of words.
Yes.
And
it was coming from a guy who talked like this.
Yeah, Captain Carvel here. Yeah. I've got throat cancer. How about Nutty the Ghost and Fudgy Wudgy the Whale?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, that was big, Carvel, the cakes.
They were like the Baskin Robbins of the East Coast, and they'd come on and they'd have these really kind of, it's Nutty the Ghost.
I'm trying to think of if I don't know if it was Fudgy Wudgy. It was something like
Fudgy
that.
the Whale. It was Fudgy the Whale and Nutty the Ghost, and then there was a bunch of other ones, but they looked, ugh. But okay, tell me about Fudgy Wudgy, because over there it's still an ice cream thing or something.
What it is when we were kids and
Yeah.
go down the Jersey Shore, there's different, parts of this was Sea Isle and Wildwood and like Avalon, and you go down the shore and the guys would yell on the beach. The ice cream guys would yell, Fudgy Wudgy, Fudgy Wudgy. So it was just a Fudgy Wudgy man.
But what was it, an ice cream bar? Like you hold
No,
it?
it was ice cream. It's kind of like Good Humor, but they carried it kind of on their backs.
How big was it?
Pretty big, like, it was terrible. You just always felt so sorry for those guys. They were usually Vietnam vets.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And they would just be older and sweating buckets, and you could just tell, like...
Oh, that's what you want near your ice cream.
And they're like, Fudgy Wudgy! Yeah. You're half afraid to approach, but you wanted ice cream. And we would scream, like, just like you did on your street when you were a kid. Yeah. We would scream bloody murder for them to stop.
Yeah.
It was like, wait a minute! Yeah. Or Fudgy Wudgy!
Yeah.
And... you ran, and you're like, give me cash from your mother or whatever, and you ran, and you just screamed at the top of your lungs. And I thought, oh my God, wouldn't it be funny as an adult doing that?
Well, imagine these guys, they're Vietnamese.
No, Vietnam vets.
Oh, they're Vietnam vets. Okay, they're Vietnamese guys, and I'm picturing Americans running out of their house screaming, Fudgy Wudgy! They're like, holy fuck! Getting out of here. The American vets. Yeah.
It's a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, Vietnam vet, yeah. Now, wait, I'm confused. You're telling me they're slugging ice cream on their back like a big blob of ice cream?
It was in one of those portable refrigerators.
But at the end, it was like ice cream on a stick, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But now they have them on, wheels.
On wheels. Okay, so you're at the beach.
And I just was like, I'm going to scream like we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
And so I was screaming at the top of my lungs, Fudgy Wudgy! Yeah. And I'm running down the beach. And then I catch up to the guy, and he's like gorgeous.
Oh, the Fudgy Wudgy guy was gorgeous?
Yeah, I mean, young, but ridiculously
stud.
Good looking.
Whoa.
And so I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, holy shit.
You fudged your pants.
No, I just, and my reaction was very authentic. It was kind of like I stopped in my tracks. Here I am screaming like a crazy lady.
Yeah.
And I got up there and I just went, hey. I was like playing. And then the next day, people are like, I put it on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
TikTok, and then everybody's like, Fudgy. So then the next day, I go to another guy. I run up and I'm screaming, Fudgy Wudgy. I go up, he's gorgeous.
Whoa.
And I'm just like, where do they get these guys? Abercrombie and Fitch, they used to be Vietnam vets. They were like PTSD walking, rah, rah, Fudgy Wudgy. And and so that kind of like caught on, and then the first guy, then the third day I see him again, and he's like, my parents said to me, he goes, my phone's blowing up. And he goes, I'm sorry, I didn't know who you are. And I go, that's okay. You don't have to know. I mean, he's young. And he goes,
he didn't know you were Cheri Oteri from SNL.
He's a kid. He's young, and so
gorgeous.
So he says,
what was that?
So
did you just get flustered?
No.
You went,
you better quit, Harland. So, oh my God. So anyway, he goes, my parents are like, you didn't know who that was? And he's like, no. I go, oh, honey, don't worry. But he goes, I'm telling you, my phone's blowing up.
Yeah.
And then I come home and I have all 3 times the Fudgy Wudgy guys in 3 days. I get home and this girl I know from Philly, she calls me and she goes, that's my friend's son. And she has a picture with her and him.
Oh, wow.
So these guys are having a little bit of fame right now.
Wow.
I said there should be a Fudgy Wudgy calendar. Jeez Louise.
Like the fireman, the hot fireman calendar.
Yeah.
God, Fudgy Wudgy calendar.
And I never got a Fudgy Wudgy. And then when I got,
You never bought one after all that?
I know.
You were just teasing. You were Fudgy Wudgy teasing.
Then I'm thinking to myself, do I really need a Fudgy Wudgy? I just thought, and then I go to him. I go, I'm watching my weight. I shouldn't have a Fudgy Wudgy. Like, this guy gives a shit, right? And then the next day I said again, oh, I can't have a Fudgy Wudgy. I'm watch. And he goes, I know you're watching your weight. And then I go, yeah. And he's like, something like, he goes, oh, you're fine. And I went, thank you. Score. That's what I was waiting for. Like you scream bloody murder waiting for this guy to stop, and as soon as you get to him, you're like, I shouldn't have a Fudgy Wudgy. I'm watching my weight. He's like, well, I don't care. You want the fucking Fudgy Wudgy or what?
If you're going to lose your weight, shouldn't it be just something called Fudgy Wudgy? I mean, who came up with that
But
name?
it was so cute because they have the same kind of like bomb pops, and then the thing, the ice cream where it's got the big round ball at the bottom and it's chewing gum.
Yeah.
It's
and do they have all the different ice creams plastered on the side of their car?
Yeah, they have some of the But now, like, I always think to myself, why didn't we think they think in the 70s and 80s to have these things on wheels?
Yeah, right.
Like
they just carry them around.
I even think to myself, you remember, like, how long did it take somebody to say, we should put wheels on suitcases?
Yeah, right. That took forever. Yeah, I remember I was in Australia and I saw one of those on the beach, and I always remembered it. It was like a long, like, chocolate banana dipped in chocolate.
Yes.
And I don't know who
banana.
named it, but over there it was called Gay Time. Like, it was like Fudgy Wudgy, Creamsicle, and Gay Time. And I was like, okay, you might want to rename that one.
Are we on Fire Island or what?
Yeah, that one. Like, you get that card up Brokeback Mountain. It's Gay Time.
Hold that card up Brokeback Mountain.
Imagine the Fudgy Wudgy guy. And by the way, I don't think you want to go up Brokeback Mountain with the name Fudgy Wudgy, by the way. Imagine just pushing your card all the way. It's Gay Time.
Oh my God, these guys though and I'm thinking, these poor bastards, in like the 70s and just carrying this pretty much a small refrigerator, with a strap on there. And
you almost bought a Fudgy Wudgy just because you felt sorry for him. It's like, I don't really want one, but that guy's about to have a stroke. Throw him 40 cents.
But I will say, there's a natural inclination whenever you see like an ice cream truck, or I saw like the Fudgy Wudgy guy, to make them stop, because it's just a natural, from when you were a kid, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
You always stop them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here I am as an adult. I want you to stop. No, I can't have a Fudgy Wudgy, but I'm going to stop you. I'm going to try and get money from somebody, cash. And I'm going to stop you.
I want to go back and look at the tape and see how many times we said Fudgy Wudgy. Probably like 3,000. I love it. Now I want to go back. Speaking of going back, I want to circle back to
Cookie Puss.
No thanks, I'm straight.
No.
What was that? Another one?
Carvel. Frank Carvel used to. It wasn't called whatever you said.
Enjoy the Cookie Puss.
Yeah, it was called Cookie Puss, which was even worse.
Oh yeah.
He's like Cookie Puss or the whale, right?
Yeah, Fudgy the whale.
Fudgy the whale, but the other big thing was Cookie Puss.
And Nutty the ghost.
I never heard Nutty the ghost.
Yeah, he came out at Halloween. It's Nutty the ghost, kids, for Halloween. Forget about Pussyfoot and Fudgy the whale.
Cookie Puss.
What was it?
Cookie Puss.
What did I say? Pussyfoot. Pussyfoot.
You're pussyfooting around now. Chicken.
All right. I want to go back to that moment in the hallway with Norm. He said, take, what was Xanax? And then cut to you coming out with one of the most memorable SNL characters, the pill popping. What was her name? Was it
Colette Reardon?
Like, can't you mind me asking where that came from? Like, what was the genesis of that character? Because I tell you, man, that character just had me the first time I saw it, blew my mind. Like, where did that come from?
When I was a kid, my Nana,
Yeah.
like, she was Miss Prescription, pill lady. And back then,
Yeah.
when no one hid, they almost showed off. They showed off my doctor, this one, and that doctor, and they would just talk about their doctors. And he prescribed, the Percodan, and then, but Mishikian prescribed, the Percocet.
Yeah.
And but said I probably shouldn't have mixed them on account of the drinking. But it was just all my Nana would talk about were her doctors. And then back then, you would take the pills. They were in a beautiful bejeweled pill case.
Oh, wow.
And I would ask my Nana, "Can I hold your pill case, Nana?" Because they were so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Like a little jewelry box or something? Yeah.
And
wow. Because back then there was no stigma. Like, people thought the pills were the cure and not the problem.
If a doctor prescribed it, no one questioned.
Yeah,
doctors
you were
or
good.
priests.
Yeah, right.
When I was growing up, if it was a doctor or a priest, it was word.
That's right.
Boy,
and were we wrong.
My Nana, I remember one time I was a little girl, my Nana, I could tell when she came, she was kind of high. She always parked a little bit on the curb, half on the curb, half not. Yeah. And then she'd walk in and her lipstick would be askew or her eyebrow.
Oh, wow.
And I would look at her face, and I'm just like, and then I would say, amazing. At the end, my Nana would say, "I'm leaving. No one's paying attention to me." I'm like, "The frig am I? I'm lonely too. Nobody pays attention to me either. Like, even you're putting me down." Right? My mom didn't want to have anything to do with either one of us.
Yeah.
So then she goes, "Tell your mother I'm leaving because no one's paying attention to me."
Right.
All right. So I go up, "Mom, Nana's leaving. No one's paying attention to her." Yeah. She's like, "All right, just walk her to the car." And I remember turning around and then going, I go, "Mom, should Nana be driving?" And she's like, "Don't be fresh." And I was dead serious.
Don't be fresh.
Like, I knew.
Yeah, she was trouble.
And so I would, but in the 70s, when someone left your house high, your only duty was to walk them to the car.
Yeah.
Walk them to the heavy machinery.
Yeah. Make sure they didn't hit the fire hydrant at the end of your driveway, but everything else was free reign.
But that's true.
Yeah.
I remember you walked people to the car that were high.
Yeah.
And it's like my mom, I remember hearing her on the phone with her, "What do you mean? She wrapped it around a tree. That's impossible. My 7-year-old walked her to the car." And I'm like thinking, but all this time when I was a kid, I would always say, "Geez, that seems wrong."
Right.
And it was.
It was. And even back then when we were kids, you didn't really have the drinking and driving thing. People just did it. It wasn't until people started realizing people are dying.
Would drive you home.
Yeah. So that's fascinating to me that you kind of logged those traits about your grandmother in.
Because I used to think to myself,
I
wonder if she's just always at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
I wonder if she hangs out at the pharmacy. Wow. And she always had a boyfriend, my Nana.
Yeah.
Always had a boyfriend. I'm sure they were scared shitless of her.
Yeah.
But she was rough. She was rough.
And when she was at
she was not the pennies in a jar Nana.
No, she was like, "Come on, get over here." Like, kind of like the Carvel ice cream guy.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
And she's like, my mom would say, "Go give Nana a hug, goodbye." And we would hug her and she goes, "Hug me like you mean it." And we go like this.
Crying.
Look, we had to do the squeeze. And yeah. And then I was just thinking to myself, and then that character just came. But I made her really, really nice.
Now, did she, before we get into the character, when she was at the house, did she ever just kind of do non sequiturs, like, "Who left the thing?" Like, just kind of yell stuff out that didn't make sense, or was she coherent?
No, she was coherent.
Okay.
And she would laugh, and then she would pee. And whenever she laughed, she would always say, "Oh, I peed." That was before, we had adult diapers.
Oh, but so she'd pee herself.
No, she would just pee a little. Like a lot of women just pee a little.
Few drops. How many is a little for a woman? Because guys know. When we say we pee a little, we know, but When
a lot of women, if they laugh really hard, they might be a little bit.
Like a few drops or a little stream or like.
I don't know, honey. I'm pretty good to go.
Yeah.
I don't mean to show off, but I can laugh and stay dry. Look at me showing off.
I will be checking that chair when you're done, all right? Okay, so now you take all this kind of stuff you remember about her and bring it to SNL. And were you nervous about pitching that because it was sort of so personal in a way? It came from a family member, or were you just like, what a great source material I had?
About doing people that you kind of glean from, they never think it's them.
Oh, right. Did she ever see it? Was she alive to see it?
But no.
Okay.
But I don't think so.
Did your folks see it? Was anyone mad about it?
No.
Did they piece it together? Did they know it was her?
I guess they will now.
You never told them?
I never said my Nana. I always said a family member.
Right. That's okay. Think of it this way. Don't think of it like it's a bad thing. Think of all the joy you brought to millions of people.
Drug problem.
Brought to people.
Then, I will say, in the past, I don't think I could do that today because with all the problems with, prescription drugs and OxyContin and all that stuff, I don't think that would fly.
I don't know, or is it even more relevant today?
But I think that would be the problem.
Would you filter yourself? Would you filter yourself and go, I better not do this. It's a little more prevalent. Or would you just go, you know what? This is a problem in society. I'm going to shine a fucking light on it.
Nah, because I'm not shining a light. I did get someone say to me, prescription drugs, Cheri, in a fan letter, prescription drugs isn't funny. Being hooked on. And I was just like, lighten up.
Well,
but it's such a problem.
Yeah.
Today, I don't think it would fly.
I don't know. See, that's what I feel about comedy. It's like I don't want to run stuff through that filter. It's like, to me, it's like if you're making a joke about a birthday cake.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
When you know of people whose kids have died. Because of, like opioids and this and that, it's kind of like you become, I couldn't do it for them.
Right. You're sensitive to them.
I'm sensitive to them,
Yeah, that's where I'm mixed because I'm also like, inadvertently, your job as comedians isn't to necessarily, well, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't want to put it in a box and analyze it, but shining a light on things that are hilarious and innocent, but also shining a light on things that are troublesome and a problem in society. Like, I don't know.
It's not my humor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think I would shine a light on it because it's a problem.
Yeah.
I did it because it came from something in the back of my mind. I just remember, my Nana, and I used to think, I wonder if she hangs out at the drugstore, at the pharmacy, and I wonder if, how the guy reacts to her.
Yeah.
Because she's got to be there all the time.
But see, that's what I mean. To me, it's like that should be the beginning and the end of the conversation for what you did comedically. Yes, there's always going to be people that overdose. There's always going to be people that commit suicide. There's always going to be people that are racist, on and on and on. But if we stop doing comedy about certain topics because we're sort of worried about that.
If it comes from an innocent place, you know it.
Yeah, right. There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just feel it inside.
That's right.
I'm thinking to myself, when people drove drunk when we were kids, you just didn't hear of people dying that much from a drunk driver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a lot of things. Like when
I'm sure it happened.
Yeah.
But not the way it does.
Yeah.
Today, and I don't know why that is. Did it happen as much? It just wasn't reported as much, or
yeah, it probably did, but it just wasn't. I think we go through phases in society where we just go, oh, that's life. That's the way it is. But then all of a sudden someone shines a light on it, and then that's not the way it is anymore, and it becomes a thing. So
I remember my mother saying, I remember putting the seatbelt on. She goes, keep that in the cushions where it belongs. It's not a toy. The seatbelt.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, aren't we supposed to have them on?
Yeah.
We never wore seatbelts as a kid.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me see what this feels like. She's like, put that in the cushions where it belongs.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a toy. And I'm
Wow.
like, and that's one of those times I thought to myself, my mom was always getting in little mini accidents.
Yeah.
And all three of us, our glasses would go flying. And she would kind of like to, she would kind of pull over and get real nice and say, try not to make a big deal if we were possibly hurt.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, the first one who finds their glasses, wins. And
She made mini accidents fun.
yeah. And my brother would be like, Mom, my head hurts. That's why the back of the seat's padded.
Yeah.
Imagine if it wasn't padded. And we're all like with our glasses like, I.
How about imagine if you learned to drive? How about that?
My mother, this was her. Dumb bitch.
Wow.
She never, ever said anything to a man.
Really?
All I remember.
Why?
I don't know, but my mother, don't think she was really hard on women.
Wow.
And I always heard, dumb bitch. Dumb bitch. She was a rough one. That's where she didn't fall too far from the nana tree.
Is that right?
Yeah, so...
But was that tough on you? Like, even though you were her daughter, you were female, did she treat you different than the brothers?
No.
Okay, so that didn't translate to you being a girl.
No, but
Okay, good.
I think she was just more of a guy's girl than a
Right.
a girl's girl.
Did that make...
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Did that make you anywhere in your head to go, look, I'm going to be more tomboyish? Do you think that influenced you? You were like, no.
No, but I just remember, she was really beautiful when I was a kid. Like, she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I saw the male attention she would get. And I looked nothing like her. I looked like my dad. My dad's Italian. She's Irish. And she was blonde, platinum blonde hair, really like porcelain skin.
Wow.
And had great bone structure, and I had like a little mini mustache, and she was
like Super Mario?
She looks at me and she goes, "You better develop a sense of humor."
Wow, so she did come at you. What'd you say back?
It was like in a kidding way,
Shut up, bitch!
But dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny growing up with like really good looking parents.
Yeah. Was your dad a stud too? Really handsome?
But the mustache looked better on him.
Did he have a mustache?
Mm-hmm. He had like like what you have.
Yeah. Well, peach fuzz.
My dad was really handsome.
Was he? Like I have?
Like what? Oh, this thing. Oh, wait. Sometimes he had a beard. Sometimes.
He did?
Yeah.
What'd your dad do?
He was in music publishing.
Oh, wow.
He moved to Nashville.
Oh.
And he got into music publishing while he was in California. He managed a guy that he was a kid on the streets of Philadelphia, and he was homeless and playing guitar. And he was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. My father was like, and he took him in.
Uh-oh.
And kind of like, so long as it fed him, cleaned him up. And my dad lived on like a farm with a bunch of people. And
let me guess, it turned out to be Jimi Hendrix.
No.
Who was it? Was it someone who became...
His name was Rich Fagan. And
did he become famous? I don't know that name.
He became a very successful songwriter.
Thanks to your dad. Wow.
They had 3 #1 hits in Nashville.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was funny because he was doing that, and then I moved to LA to get in the music business, and I worked for Almo Irving, Rondor Music Publishing Company,
Yeah.
A&M Records, Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss's publishing company, which was the Almo. And so I was working in publishing, and he was, but because I always wanted to be a singer, but I didn't have a good enough voice, so I got in the music business.
You have that kind of rasp like Rod Stewart, like kind of that, you got a little bit of that raspy
No, honey.
singing voice?
No.
Yeah.
We can't even wish it to be true.
No.
No.
It's a heartache.
That's Bonnie Tyler.
Right? Don't you have a little bit of that going?
When I have a cold, maybe.
Oh, Jesus.
So I got in the business, and it was so cool because my dad was, doing well, and then working at A&M Records.
Yeah.
And then I met this woman when I was working in publishing, and she goes, "Oh, you're so funny," because everybody was saying, "Oh, you should do stand-up," but I could never imagine doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "You should do the Groundlings," and I go, "What's the Groundlings?"
Yeah.
She said, "It's an improv troupe." I go, "What's improv?"
You had no idea.
So I went in the phone book, right?
Just went in.
And then I just walked in and I saw Phil Hartman's picture, Paul Rubin's picture.
Oh, yeah, Pee-wee.
Lorraine Newman. And I was like, what is this? What is this? And then I saw a show and I was like,
wow.
This exists?
Wow.
This is like
wild?
Saturday Night Live, but in a theater. Wow. And I started taking classes and
amazing.
It was like
an awakening.
It was an awakening.
Yeah.
I couldn't get there soon enough, and I left late. It was kind of like the clouds parted.
But going back to what I said earlier about kind of your explosiveness, when you turn that comedy switch on, like it just pops. Did that happen when you walked out on that stage? Was it just like kind of like, and everyone kind of went, "Who's that girl?" Because obviously you did well. You got to Saturday Night Live. Was there a really kind of visceral reaction when you went out there?
I think I did well.
Yeah.
But that's when you're finding yourself as well.
Yeah.
You're finding your voice and you're learning.
But if you like the way you're sitting here now, Cheri, quiet, but when you went out on that stage, did you go, "It's time to turn the switch," and you kind of became that kind of, "Here we go"?
So.
Yeah.
I had a manager that said to me, and I'll tell you who afterwards, he said, and he used to go to SNL because he managed a couple of stand-ups.
Yeah.
And he managed me a couple of years ago, whatever, for a little bit of time. And he's like, I remember, he goes, "First of all, you were the only person that was nice to me." And I was like, wow, because it was a rough place, especially when the show's actually happening.
Yeah.
Everybody's in their own world.
Competitive?
No, they're in their own world. Everybody's got a job to do.
Yeah, at the Groundlings?
No, I'm sorry, at SNL.
At SNL, sorry.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I've heard it's a tough place.
No,
yeah.
but it is. But when it's show night, everybody's got a job to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the managers or representation, they're kind of walking around, hey. But everybody's doing something. So I don't think anybody meant to not be nice and everything. But he goes, "You were always very nice to me." And I was like, "Oh, good." And then he goes, and he said, "You always look like a fragile bird backstage." And he goes, "But then when that red light went on," he said, "You were no longer a fragile bird." And I said, "That's interesting. What was interesting to me is that I came off like a fragile bird off stage."
Yeah.
Of course, I wanted to say, like, "What do you mean?
Yeah.
How fragile?" Like, what was I? But I think what it was is I was scared.
Yeah. And that fear just like...
That fear.
It's like fuel injection. It's like in Mad Max when he pulled the nitrous and his car was going as fast as he could. He pulled that little red switch and went, and it hit another level.
You are such a boy.
Yeah.
I love the analogy. Yeah, it's just like Mad Max. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, thanks. One of the most explosive characters you did too, and this is the last one I want to talk about, is the cheerleader. Because that I used to watch you do that with Will, and it was so funny. But I thought, God, the energy you're putting out, the physicality, did it kill you to do that one?
When we wrote it together, I don't think we realized how hard this was going to be.
I could tell.
Week to week to do.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are. Okay, what's going to be the sport or the?
Yeah.
That we're going to where we're not wanted.
Yeah.
And then you have to write cheers.
Yeah.
According to the chess game or, badminton, whatever. And then you got to do the choreography to the cheers.
I know, it was insane.
And then at the end, then write the host in, give them a really good part, and then freaking dance at the end, and then choreograph that. And it was just really like Will and I wrote it, and then when it got popular, it got picked up. You like to bring it back again?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Then we brought in Paula Pell, and it was just the three of us doing that, and it was a lot of
grueling
work.
Yeah. Did you ever regret it? You're just like, oh God, why did we write this? It's too much.
No, because you know what? I didn't have a whole lot in the show. Like you can write 2 sketches, and I would write my 2 things, and I mostly just got in whatever I wrote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, I didn't get cast much.
Really? That's interesting because, this says a lot about your dynamic and your energy and your personality, because when I look back on that era of SNL, in my mind, you were like a dominant presence, which says a lot now that you're telling me you weren't physically there as much as others. You're one of the standout people that I always remembered from that era. And so I think that says a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough gig, It's like you're auditioning every week.
Yeah, that's what I mean, competitive.
On a show that you're already on.
Words from a Wooden Shoe with Cheri Oteri. What we do, Cheri, is we have a wooden shoe, get rid of the palms, and inside there's a word, a random word. You reach in and see if it brings up a story or a memory from your life that you can share with the gang at the Harland Highway.
Well, there's only 2 in here.
Is there?
Okay.
See what we got. What do you got? Words from a Wooden Shoe with Cheri Oteri. And if it's you better answer good, or I'm going to do another cheer.
Bee sting.
Oh, bee sting. Okay.
Bee sting.
Whoa.
Bee sting.
You ever get one?
Yeah.
What happened?
Got stung by a bee.
Anything stick out? Anything traumatic? Anyone you know?
Can I get another one?
Sure. Wow.
Oh, there is 3. I'll go up into the toe.
Just nothing. Just bee sting next.
Beautiful eyes.
Thank you. Wow. Talk to me about your beautiful eyes. Got a story, a memory?
Beautiful eyes.
Take your time.
Jeez.
Take your time.
Beautiful
eyes on your face. Okay.
I got LASIK surgery years and
on your beautiful eyes?
Like almost 20 years ago, and my sister and I were like pretty much legally blind.
Whoa.
It's like if you're at a 6 point something, that's I think legally blind, and so we couldn't see anything.
Whoa.
And but we had contact lenses, so we were fine. And I remember when the LASIK started coming out, and when I got it done, it was like, I just couldn't believe that you could get fixed. I mean, our eyes were so bad that you could see.
It was like Wizard of Oz going from black and white to color.
Like just being, and then I remember just crying because it's like, wait a minute, so I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be able to see like this all the time.
Wow.
And then my sister got it, and we were just like, can you believe it in our lifetime?
Yeah.
That, now, before they had to use real precision.
Yeah.
Now they have a laser that just follows. So,
Yeah, they just shoot the laser right in your eyes.
That excavates the matter that is obstructing your vision. And I'm just blown away. Now, because I'm getting older, I wear one contact because I still have good reading eyes.
Right.
Me, out of all my friends, I'm like the only one that can read. I do show that off. I'm like, here, I'll read. Give me the menu.
Wow.
Give me the menu. But I'm having a hard time seeing far, so I just wear one contact lens. God damn, I'm interesting.
Do you want me to write a cheer about it?
No, God, no.
Fix your eyes, you demented freak. So we no, I got laser eye surgery too when I was younger, but it was expensive back then. It wasn't cheap, and we didn't have the money for it. So what my dad did is, do you remember the old Star Trek episode series, the first one with William Shatner?
Yeah.
And they had the USS Enterprises,
Yes.
and when they'd engage Fulton torpedo, and they'd shoot those red laser beams.
Yes.
So my dad made me wait till that scene came on in the movie, and then he grabbed me and pressed my face against the TV and got laser eye surgery for free.
Do you, you poor thing, do you know, this is where now I see where the humor comes from. Do you know how they discovered the laser eye surgery, how that all came about?
No.
There was a man in the 1950s who was in a car accident, and a shard of glass sliced his
Retina?
Yeah. And once it healed, he could see 20/20.
Oh, wow.
And researchers just started went off from that. And,
Yeah.
they saw that there was an obstruction. And I don't know how, but that's how they...
I love those weird accidents.
I know.
That's how do you know the story of Velcro?
What?
Some guy in Scotland was out walking his dog, and the dog got all the burrs, the burrs on the thistles all over the dog's fur. So he started pulling them off, and he goes, why are these so clingy? And he put them under a microscope, and he looked under the microscope, and he saw on a burr, there's like two little hooks on the flower or whatever it is, and they were almost impossible to pull apart. And he created Velcro from examining a burr under a microscope.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? Yeah.
I like finding out the origin of, how...
We like finding things out. Let's go and eat a speckled trout.
Help me, Jesus, help me now.
End the show and do it now. That's what we're going to do. Cheri, before we go, plug anything you want, your social media, any projects you have coming up. Let the folks hear it.
I'm waiting for this freaking strike to be over.
Yeah, strike, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Oh, yeah, we can't plug anything. Can you plug your social media even?
I think you can.
Well, go ahead.
Follow me on the TikTok. On TikTok, Instagram. It's funny because, once you do it, now you're starting to see other people, and I can see why, people start to get hooked, because I know now when I go to bed,
Yeah.
do not.
Yeah, you get
do not
hooked.
go
I don't
into
watch
that
TV anymore. I don't
rabbit
watch
hole.
TV. I just watch little stupid videos now.
It's not. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good, because then everything it's got to be quick. Got to be quick.
Yeah. It's changing it's changing the way we think. It's changing the way we deliver entertainment. It's changing the film industry, the TV industry. It's interesting. We're on the wave of a whole new era,
I wonder what it's going to be like 20 years from now.
I don't know, but we'll have you back. And Cheri, it was so good to have you here. You're the best. I think you're the funniest ever.
Let's not fight.
Yeah, okay.
Let's not fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to fight. We're going to cheers our way out of here. And that's it for today. Thank you for being here.
Before me.
Huh? Oh, it was Gingivitis Willie. Yeah.
Say hi to Gene, whoever it is.
Until next time, chicken chow mein. And we'll see you on the Harland Highway next week. Thanks, Cheri.
Pull over.
Pull over your car.
Okay.
Okay.